Hello fellow scientists, welcome to our study which we are going to focus on derivative of inverse hyperbolic function. Welcome and let us learn together through step-by-step method which is easy to understand. Thanks. Welcome to our study. We want to show that the derivative of hyperbolic of cosec x with respect to dx is given by 1 divided by x multiplied by square root of x squared plus 1. So to do this, we are going to let y to be equal to hyperbolic inverse of cosec x. Then we multiply this equation by cosec hyperbolic of cosec. We multiply this by hyperbolic of cosec, both the left hand side and the right hand side, to get hyperbolic of cosec y is equal to x. Then we differentiate this implicitly. When we differentiate hyperbolic of cosec y implicitly, we are going to get negative hyperbolic of cosec y multiplied by hyperbolic of cot y dy dx. Then we divide this equation both sides by hyperbolic of cos y cot hyperbolic of cot y to be left with dy dx, which is equal to this value here. There is a minus here, that way. So dy dx is equal to minus hyperbolic of cosec y multiplied by hyperbolic of cot y. And from there, we are going to make use of this trigonometric identity, which tells us that hyperbolic of cosec squared y minus hyperbolic of sine squared y is equal to 1. Then we manipulate it by dividing with the hyperbolic of sine squared here and the other side. So here we will be left with the 1. Hyperbolic of cos squared y divided by hyperbolic of sine squared y is equal to hyperbolic of cot squared y minus 1 is equal to 1 over hyperbolic of sine squared y is equal to hyperbolic of cosec squared y. Then we take square root both sides. When we take square root here, we are going to be left with the hyperbolic of cot y, which is equal to square root of hyperbolic of cosec squared y plus 1. Then from there, we know that hyperbolic of cosec y is equal to x. This is equal to x. So we substitute there with x. Here. We substitute this value here with x. We are using this fact. The fact is that hyperbolic of cosec y is equal to x. So here, while you have hyperbolic of cosec squared, we square that x there. So we are going to come here and substitute. So instead of cosec, we are going to substitute it with x. So this x, it is the one which is here. Hyperbolic of cosec y is equal to x. So that is the x we are using. So that is where the x is coming from. Then we know that hyperbolic of cot y is equal to x squared plus 1. So that is where here we have x. X is that of hyperbolic of cos y, which is this one here. Then square root, it is that of hyperbolic of cot y, which is this one here. Now, and then the negative part. Don't forget the negative part. -1 divided by xx square root of x squared plus 1. Hence, the derivative of hyperbolic inverse of x with respect to dx is given by -1 divided by x square root of x squared plus 1. So for other studies, I have done so far the derivative of inverse of hyperbolic of sin x, inverse derivative of hyperbolic of cos x, inverse of derivative of cot x, inverse of hyperbolic derivative of cot x. So you can check the study in the link below so that you may keep on learning mathematics, whereby it is simplified for you so that you can follow it step by step. So in case you face some difficulty, you can always follow this study step by step through the way we have listed them here. So you start by letting multiply this equation by coshx, hyperbolic of coshx both sides, differentiate implicitly, divide by this value here, then make use of this trigonometric identity. From this one, from the first identity here, this one, it can be manipulated to get this result. Then from there now, you just come here and use this fact that hyperbolic of coshx y is equal to x. You substitute your value here and you get the result easily. And now learning becomes simplified for you. Thanks a lot. So much for watching this study. Kindly like, subscribe so that you won't miss any single video which I upload now and then. Also, you can make a comment there. You can suggest any area of study which you would want me to address, and I will be more than willing to tackle it on your behalf. Thanks so much for your support, guys.